Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and we are here for Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 4, Episode 4. Keke, do you love me? So let's just get right into it. Mel and Tiffany are sitting down talking, and Tiffany brings up that she went to the book signing that Martell had for himself and the children. And Melody tells Tiffany that she was not made aware of she was made aware, but she was not asked about the book signing situation. She said he maybe asked me 2 days before the actual book signing, and Tiffany kind of looked skeptical. Like, I don't know about that, but like I told y'all in the last video, between the two of them, both of them be lying. But Martell do be kind of spiteful, and he could have set this whole thing up to make Mel look like an asshole. But I said what I said. They both be lying, so I don't know who is bending the truth on this one. But Mel talks about teaching people boundaries, and that you got to teach people to respect you, and she won't be disrespected. And I'm like, I feel that. So Tiffany ends up saying, well, you know, we shouldn't really make rash decisions based on the past. And Mel had to interrupt her and say, oh no, but it's a recent past. We've only been divorced for less than a year, so it's not really no past. So I can very well make decisions based on the past because it's not that far behind me. And Tiffany said, well, you know what they say, it's always her side, your side, and the truth. And I said, my sentiments, exactly, because the truth is somewhere in the middle on both of their ends. I feel like both of them are full of shit when it comes to this certain situation, but we'll never know the truth. Then Mel, you know, got a little agitated. She said, well, my side is already the truth because I ain't gonna lie. And I said, now, Miss Melody, we not gonna act like you won't be setting up that line. But I'm going to let you have it. Then she says, plus Martell didn't even invite me to this whole situation. So, you know. And I'm just like, well, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have minded if you came. Like, those are your kids. But, you know, she feel how she feel. They segue into Tiffany talking about her first marriage. Her ex-husband that passed away. And Mel asked her, look, like, why did you guys split up? And she said, because I wanted more, and I was just tired of, you know, him working 10, 12 hours and we still struggling. You ain't got nothing to show for it. And she now regrets that decision because she understands now that money doesn't buy happiness, because she believes that man really loved her and her son. She said Chris. And the way she worded it made me feel like, well, is that not your first husband's child? But maybe not. But I understand where she's coming from as far as being in a relationship and not really seeing each other because y'all both breaking y'all backs to work to still barely make it. However, it was kind of selfish, but it's nothing wrong with you wanting more for yourself. But she says she regrets it, and it's unfortunate that he passed away. She got emotional, and she was trying not to cry, and Mel gave her a hug and told her, you know, it was going to be okay, and told her it was nothing wrong with you wanting to elevate and want more for your life. I'm glad that Tiffany is being transparent with us finally this season, because she talked so much about transparency and they wasn't being really transparent. So I appreciate it, and I'm sure Mel appreciated it as well. Let's skip over to Tisha and Kimmy. Tisha goes to Kimmy's house, and she invites her in. They go in the back and they have a drink. And Kimmy explains to Tisha, because they cut to a part of the reunion where Carlos asked if Kimmy would be Tisha's friend if they weren't family. And Kimmy said no. And Kimmy wanted to explain where she was coming from with that. She said, I am not confrontational when it comes to friendships. Like, I don't believe in arguing and fussing and fighting with my friends. And I can say that I have severed some relationships with people that I used to consider my friends, simply because I don't do the arguing back and forth. Like, I come from a place where I feel like if you not feeding me or sleeping with me, we shouldn't be doing all this arguing. Like, I don't really, but like, I understand that you can have disagreements, but when it comes to a point where we get nasty with each other, and it's far more often than it should be, then I don't have time for that. She said, I don't do confrontational. And, Tisha agrees with her, and she says, I don't like to argue and fuss and fight too. But I really appreciate you telling me that and explaining that to me. Because her feelings was hurt when she said that. Tisha likes to lie and say that her feelings ain't hurt, when we all know that her feelings really do be hurt. Then Kimmy tells Tisha that she really enjoyed her honeymoon. And I'm just like, I'm so glad you got to go on your honeymoon. I think they went to Mexico, San Juan. And she says that she's so grateful that she met Maurice, because she feels like they're kindred spirits. And she said, we ain't got to really be doing anything. Like, we could just chill and have a great time. And I was like, I know that's right, because that be me and my baby. Like, for the most part, we sitting up in here chilling, kicking back, and watching reality shows and talking shit. Like, that's what we do. And I enjoy that. Like, I enjoy our I feel like that's intimate time together. So I understand where she coming from. We ain't got to do much. As long as I'm with you, baby, I ain't got to be doing much. Then of course she brings up the party. And Kimmy informs Tisha that Destiny was not there, and she said, clearly you weren't there. She said, but your cousin Keke was there, and she was like, oh, well, I didn't even know that Keke and Mel was cool like that. And she like, but okay, that's what's up. And then, Kimmy had to drop the bomb on her and let her know that, Kimmy had to drop the ball on her and let her know that her name came up, and that her cousin Keke was, doing a lot of talking. And she like, oh, really? Because I thought me and Keke were in a good place, but I guess blood ain't thicker than mud. So of course Kimmy suggests that you need to probably have a conversation with your cousin Keke, and I agree. So let's code over to Maurice and Marceau. Maurice shows up to Black, and he tells Marceau about the honeymoon, and he like, I just found out Kimmy likes to travel. I had no idea, because she a whole different person on vacation. And that basically means she was, throw that ass in circle. Hey, throw that ass in circle. That's what you're supposed to do on your honeymoon, child. So Marceau was like, okay, that's kind of too much information. I don't really want to know that shit. Then Marceau says, it was everything that I felt a honeymoon should be. And Marceau was like, oh, word? And the way he said it, to me, it just came off as though, like, I can't relate. Because he can't. Because Marceau act like he don't like his wife. Maurice likes his wife. So, I couldn't really expect you to relate, Marceau. So, Louis shows up. And here go Marceau condescending ass. He shake his hand talking about Louis Whitlow. Let's go and get this man a shot. And I was just like, well, you sit your goofy ass down. Like, you always trying to puff out your chest in situations that you don't need to puff out your chest about. But I felt like he probably had, I'm in my restaurant, you in my zone, so I could talk to you, in any kind of way that I want to. Because that's what he was giving in this scene. They end up discussing what was said at the reunion, and Marceau basically feels like Louis shouldn't have an opinion one way or the other on their relationship because he don't know them. He felt like he was crossing a boundary, and he like, well, you spoke on my marriage as well, so you kind of contradicting yourself. And Marceau says, well, I only spoke on it because you spoke on mine. And he said, well, and Lewis said something to the effect of, well, I spoke on what I saw, so, you know. And Marceau was like, I feel like you're doing this agree to disagree type thing, and this is not that kind of situation. Like, basically stay up out my business, because you don't have the authority to try to tell me about my wife. He was like, I was just trying to tell you that the confidence is not there with your wife, and that's why the communication is lacking. And more so, just don't really want to accept that shit. And he felt like he called himself checking Lewis. And I feel like in this scene, Lewis let him have it. But don't think you checked Lewis. Lewis is a real man. He's not scared of you. And he's going to continue to voice his opinion. Like he said. Like, you're on a television show. And just like him, we can see that you're full of shit. And your wife does lack confidence. And you do need to talk more to her about small things and large things. But you don't. You think you could just make decisions, do what you want to do. And that's okay. But then you wonder why your wife's sitting over there looking like a sad puppy dog all the time. But Lewis was, you know, big enough to apologize. And Maurice said, you doing all this talking, my nigga. Where's his apology? Because you were purposely being disrespectful, were you not? And Marceau do not like to be held accountable. He do not like to feel like somebody checking him, because he can't. Damn, the guy kind of gave Maurice the side. I like, you as my brother, you supposed to be on my side. But it's just like, no, Maurice might have his little ways about him, but for the most part, he's the logical between the two of you. And Maurice lets us know that Marceau didn't used to be like this, and he felt like the money changed him, and that's extremely unfortunate. So let's get into Martell real quick. He didn't have a whole lot going on. He goes to Melanika's office to discuss some business. Child, that man doing everything but contract, and it's just like, well, you better find your niche and get into it. I ain't even mad at you, Martell. You got to get your money some kind of way. He has a cookbook coming out. It's a vegan, vegetarian, healthy lifestyle type of cookbook. And at first, he had a picture on there with just the apron on. He had his pectorials out. And Melanika was like, yeah, we need to change this. And he was like, yeah, I agree. I don't think husbands would want to see me naked on a bookshelf. So it probably is best as far as branding to change the book cover. So then I like Melanika because she's Martell's friend, but she also tries to talk some sense into him as from a woman's standpoint and from a mother's standpoint. And she like, you know, next time we need to coordinate something when you have the kids on your weekend. I'm just like, come on now. I'm here for the people that will hold you accountable on this show. And that's definitely Lewis, and it's looking like it's Miss Melanika as well. So let's skip over to Tiffany and Stormy. They meet up at a bar to sit down and have a conversation. And Stormy opens up the conversation with saying, oh, I brought you here because, you know, I wanted to get to know you better. And, outside of the ignorant comment that you made. It's just like, Stormy, you doing a whole lot on this show. And you rubbing me wrong. And I'm sure you rubbing other people wrong because you coming off real abrasive and you don't need to be. Because Tiffany, I don't feel like she doing a whole lot this season. She's being a lot more calm. She ain't running her mouth like she was on the first season. So I don't understand why you coming at her like that. They didn't really give us the history of why Stormy and Tiffany don't like each other, but y'all gonna have to help me understand why Stormy is acting like that. So as Tiffany is kind of trying to explain herself and why she, you know, acts the way she acts, Stormy not even listening. And yeah, Tiffany probably was being long-winded, but bitch, you brought me here so that we can get to know each other. But as I'm trying to tell you who I am, you doing all this rolling your eyes and not listening. He was like, hold on. I'm sorry, I stopped listening like 5 sentences ago. And it's just like, well, bitch, what the fuck are we here for? Because I'm not finna play with you up on this camera. Like, are we here to get to know each other or are we not? I don't like Stormy. It's not giving for me. I feel like she's doing a whole lot to be seen on this camera. But then wants to talk to Tiffany and expects her to listen about her having trouble conceiving because she suffered from endometriosis. Now, I do have empathy for that. However, how you expect me to listen to you and care about what you're talking about if you didn't give a shit about what I was talking about? And then she ended the scene. Tiffany said, you know, are we good? And Stormy gonna say, we're getting to know each other. And it's just like, you can keep that shit. That I can see why you and Mel are friends, because y'all got that nice, nasty attitude that don't nobody got time for. Child, y'all could leave Miss Stormy where she was. Child, let's get into Tisha and Keke. Keke meets Tisha at her lounge, Black. And, you know, they start off with small talk, and then Tisha jumps right into it. And she ends up asking, like, basically, what was all that mess you was talking at Melody party? Keke ends up saying that, I mean, you came up in conversation, and Tisha is just trying to get an understanding as to, why did you feel like it was okay for you to talk about me, in front of, amongst people that I didn't really know? Like, what's up with that? And the cousin basically explains to her, like, it wasn't nothing malicious, but we not gonna sit up here and pretend like you ain't never sat up and talked about me in mixed company. And Tisha like, when did I do that? And she was like, when it came to that day, one Christmas when we all went to Melody and Martell's house when they were still together. So apparently there was a situation where Keke had some personal business going on, and Tisha says, well, as a friend, I thought that I should let Melody know what was going on since she was going to be in her household. And it's just like, I can't really speak to this because I don't know what the situation is. But when it comes to family and loyalty, even if you're not getting along with that family member, I don't feel like it's right to be putting their personal business out there amongst people that aren't family, not even other family members. Like, if there's something personal that only you knew and she didn't want anybody else to know, then Tisha, it was not your place to go and tell Melody. So they arguing back and forth, and Tisha denies that she was talking shit. And Keke says, Tisha, you have apologized to me for it. So what do you mean? Like, and she like, but I told you it wasn't true. And it's just like, Tisha, you full of shit, because you do be talking shit to people, and then when somebody call you on it, then you want to backpedal and pussy pop. So the only thing I gathered from this conversation is that the whole damn family is messy as far as Tisha's side is concerned, from Miss Wanda on down the line. Like, and what Miss Iyanla Van Zant told Miss Evelyn when it came to the Braxton sisters, the fish stinks from the head down. And I ain't talking about your other regions. I'm saying that it starts at the top. They get it from somewhere. And I just feel like that's some messy shit. Another thing that I gathered from this is that, Tisha, this energy that you have for your cousin, you need to get some of that to your husband, because I think he'll probably respect you a little bit more if you said it with your chest. I ain't never seen Tisha get this buck, not even with Mel or Kimmy like that. I guess since this is her cousin, she felt like she could do that, but it's just like, you be having that energy for the wrong people, Miss Mamas. You need to have that energy for Marceau's ass. I honestly, I'm telling y'all, it usually only takes you one time to check a motherfucker and let them know that you're not going to disrespect me. And Tisha has not done that with Marceau. I don't know why. I don't know what she's scared of. Your name is on the businesses, dear. You have the upper hand. You got several children from this man, and your name is on lots of paperwork. So I'm just not understanding why you can't have this energy for your husband. Like, so Keke is not folding, and she's standing on what she said. She said it wasn't malicious, but the shit that you did was malicious back in the day. And Tisha said, well, I thought, we was over there, and here we are 5 years later still talking about it. It's because all of y'all messy. And y'all keep up mess. And y'all get that shit from your mammy. Child. And that doggone Kimmy, not Kimmy, I keep saying Kimmy, Keke, if she don't look like another version of Miss Wanda, I don't know who do. They got to be first cousins, because they look a lot alike. Them genes is strong. And Keke, you looked it good in the confessional, girl. And Tisha, you always look good. You aggravate me so much. But you look good, girl. But then after that, Tisha says she done with this conversation. She gets up and walks out. And she decides to get on the phone with Kimmy right then and there. And then her cousin came out the door and said, so who you talking to me? Who you talking about me to this time? And Tisha had this stupid ass look on her face like, damn, I'm caught. Why you ain't get in your car? Like, what is happening? Why don't you get in your car if you're going to talk crazy? Why would you go and stand right outside the restaurant and talk shit like y'all didn't just get into it about this very thing? Child. That was Love and Marriage Huntsville, y'all. It did not give a whole lot. This was not a super eventful episode. Looking forward to what happens next week. Y'all make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you thought about this episode. Tell me what you thought about my review. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.